Well, here we are in Nashville, Tennessee. You can tell the sun's kind of going down. We're on our floating deck garden here on Percy Priest Lake next to our houseboat, and these blueberries over here are just getting just as big as a dime. They're really turning out nice on these bushes where there wasn't anything, and the little blueberries over here that were so many now are kind of pre-thinning themselves out. I wonder if it over-fruited or actually produced so much that it couldn't catch up with it. So I'm starting to get some pretty good berries over here and some pretty good berries over here, and even some over here now are starting to do pretty good. I actually poured the fertilizer to it out around the edges so it wouldn't burn the roots up, and I'm starting to get some pretty good looking berries under there. So I think I might have saved some. I think it kind of ran out of nutrition maybe. It actually produced so many berries that it kind of ran itself out of nutrition. And I noticed that there's a little plant here. This looks like a tomato plant. Maybe I threw a tomato in there in this round grow tub here. It's a big plastic thing that a neighbor left over here, so I planted it full of stuff. And now that seems like a tomato plant. Maybe I threw a tomato and a seed kind of planted itself. So I'm going to let it go and see what happens there. Kind of interesting. And remember, my guide was to see, I knew they were really growing when I got to the first wire, then I got to the second wire, then I got to the third wire. Now we're talking everything is 10 inches over the top on these tomato plants that I planted first day in the middle. Notice I don't need any water. It's been raining here for about 3 days straight, so it has kind of kept the tubs full on their own. I gotta show you a funny thing. The cucumbers are next to my pepper plants. You know, this little thing reaches out and grabs a hold of them pepper plants. I gotta keep pulling it off there so I don't either that or move them to another tub. And one funny thing happened down here. This cucumber reached up and grabbed a hold of itself. It got a hold of this branch up here and thought, hey, there's something right there. It was kind of like scratching his own back. He was coming up here and he grabbed a hold of that leaf, and I thought that was funny. His little discoveries. And that's the one thing you'll notice when you put in a garden that is so much fun, is every day you notice something different. And these blackberries here now, they all really came on big time, so that they don't shortchange themselves and not generate good fruit. I really been pouring the fertilizer to them bags and watering, and gave them a little Epsom salt so they'd have some nutrition. And I noticed that my little blackbird buddy is over there. He's going in the frying pan one of these days if I ever catch him, because he jumps up on my table back here and he eats all my crickets. I buy a tube of crickets so I can fish bluegill off the back of the dock, and if I don't cover him up, I'll look out and him and his little friend are in there eating them crickets out of there, one right after another, like it's a smorgasbord. But those red raspberries have done so good out front. And let me make a quick trip out there so I can show you. I finally talked Mommy and let me plant them in between her beautiful red roses. They're starting to curl back. You notice the petals are all falling off from the first bloom, but it won't be long and it'll bloom again. But these, man, all the new shoots, look at all this new growth coming up from these. I bought these and they said don't split them up because it'll hurt the roots. Just plant them in one chunk and then they'll bring up roots on their own and start new stalks all the time. So we've had, gee whiz, at least a quarter of a bowl full of berries. So I ran to that same place. I said, do you have any of those plants left? They said, we got 2 left. I said, I'll take them both. So I threw them in this tub over here and threw some dirt to it, filled it up around there so I can give me time to go get my grow bags. I'm going to put 2 more grow bags out front. And I drilled some holes in the bottom of the tub so it wouldn't flood. And look at here. Looky, looky, looky. I got to show you this. Man, maybe I picked him a little earlier, but this one's ready to go. I think there's another one in there hiding on me. Yes. Looky here. Nice big red raspberries off that plant. I was just sitting at the store. There's another one up here that ain't quite ready, and normally I save them, but Sheila's in Alabama, so I'm going to take them in the house. There ain't very many, but I'm going to pour a little cream over them, a little bit of Splenda, and they are just Well, too late. I'm gonna eat them right now. They're just absolutely delicious. So, and then there was 2, and then there was just 1, and now there's none. Third one was a little tart. I picked him a hair earlier, but he's still good to go. My tomato that's underneath the bottom of that branch over there is still green. I got 2 or 3 little ones underneath those branches, and they're still green. But I got hundreds of blooms, hundreds of yellow blooms, and I'm just waiting for. We've had such cold weather. I mean, actually in the 50s as the highs the last 2 or 3 days, that it just kind of stopped everything. But the next 3 or 4 days are going to be like 85 and sunny, and watch this garden go. We will, like my brother Larry says, grow baby grow. And I'm excited about that. Hopefully it'll really kick it in the shorts, and all these tomatoes will jump out, and these cucumbers have already got little baby cucumbers on them. You can see down in here, already got the blooms. See the little baby cucumbers? They're already all over the place on these small plants. They haven't even got started. And there's ka-chung, 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 little cucumbers everywhere. So, in the meantime, I think I'll wait on my rhubarb a little higher. Then I'm going to make me a rhubarb upside down cake, which, if you got YouTube, look up Larry Hall. Of course you have YouTube, you're watching this, duh. Look up Larry Hall, Rain Gutter Grow System, and look up her upside down rhubarb cake. It is absolutely phenomenal. His wife is just one of the best cooks ever. So anyway, that's my brother Larry up in Brainerd. I'm going to wait till that last little berry turns red. I'm going to pick it. Then I'm going to transplant these in 2 30-gallon grow bags out front, and shove them roses apart and fit 2 more bags in there, and fill that whole front fence line with nothing but raspberries. By next year it'll be nuts. So I'll eat some this year, and next year should be good as well. This video is getting a little long, so I'm going to cut it off and say hey to everybody. This is Steve Hall in Nashville, Tennessee with a garden update. See you soon. Bye.